Picture this. You're walking through a dense forest, carrying a heavy backpack. At first, it feels manageable, but as you climb hills and navigate rough terrain, the weight becomes unbearable. You want to move faster, explore deeper, and breathe easier, but the backpack holds you back. Now imagine if you could simply unzip it and let it fall away. How much lighter would you feel? How much farther could you go? This backpack isn't just a metaphor. It's the baggage we all carry: resentment, fear, guilt, or the reluctance to let go of situations, people, or dreams that no longer serve us. And here's the truth: unless we force ourselves to let go, we will never truly live the life we're meant to. Today, I'm going to show you why letting go is essential, how to do it, and what's waiting for you on the other side. By the end of this speech, you'll be ready to unzip that backpack and finally move forward. Let me leave you with this. The art of letting go isn't about losing. It's about gaining freedom. The freedom to live, to love, and to thrive. So ask yourself, what's one thing you're holding on to right now that's keeping you from living your life to the fullest? And what will it take for you to finally let it go? Today is the day to unzip that backpack, drop the weight, and take your first step toward the life you've always wanted. Let go and start living. The power of letting go lies at the heart of personal freedom and fulfillment. It's a concept that sounds simple, but is often incredibly difficult to practice. We all hold on to things: memories, grudges, relationships, fears, or even outdated dreams that weigh us down. These are the invisible chains that keep us tethered to a version of ourselves that no longer serves us. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about reclaiming our power and creating space for something new. It's an act of liberation. And in that liberation, we discover who we truly are. Imagine holding on to a rope that's pulling you in the wrong direction. It's not just the pull of the rope that's causing pain. It's also the fact that you refuse to let go. Your hands are burning, your muscles are straining, and yet you grip tighter, thinking, if I just hold on a little longer, I'll regain control. But what if the real control comes from releasing the rope? What if letting go isn't a sign of weakness, but a profound demonstration of strength? The truth is, we're often afraid to let go because we equate it with failure. Letting go of a relationship might feel like admitting it didn't work out, even if it's toxic. Letting go of a dream might feel like abandoning a part of yourself, even if that dream no longer aligns with your present reality. We're conditioned to believe that perseverance is always the answer, that if we just try harder or hold on longer, things will get better. But there's a fine line between perseverance and self-destruction. And knowing when to let go is a skill that can transform your life. Letting go is about acknowledging reality and making peace with it. It's about accepting that some things are out of your control, no matter how much you want to change them. This acceptance doesn't mean you're giving up on life. It means you're choosing to focus your energy on what you can control. You can't change the past, but you can change how you respond to it. You can't make someone else love you, but you can choose to love yourself enough to walk away. You can't avoid every challenge or heartbreak, but you can decide how much power you give those experiences over your future. One of the most profound aspects of letting go is the clarity it brings. When you're holding on to something tightly, your vision becomes clouded. You're so focused on what you're trying to preserve that you can't see the opportunities waiting just beyond your grasp. It's like standing in front of a closed door, pounding on it and begging for it to open while ignoring the open door just a few steps away. Letting go allows you to step back, take a deep breath, and notice the doors you hadn't seen before. This clarity often comes with a sense of lightness. Think about the physical sensation of carrying something heavy for a long time. When you finally set it down, your muscles relax and you feel a surge of relief. The same is true emotionally and mentally. Letting go of anger, resentment, or fear can feel like shedding a weight you didn't realize you were carrying. It's in that moment of release that you begin to see what's possible. You start to dream again, to hope, and to believe in the beauty of the future. Letting go is also an act of trust. It's trusting that life has more to offer you than what you're leaving behind. It's believing that even if you can't see the path ahead, it's there, waiting for you to take the first step. Trusting the process of letting go doesn't mean you won't feel pain or doubt. It means you're willing to endure those feelings for the sake of something greater. Growth requires discomfort, and letting go is one of the most challenging forms of growth. There's a common misconception that letting go means forgetting or ignoring what happened, but that's not the case. Letting go doesn't erase the past. It changes your relationship with it. It allows you to look back without being consumed by regret or bitterness. It lets you honor the lessons you've learned while freeing yourself from the chains of what might have been. In this way, letting go is an act of profound self-respect. It's a way of saying, I deserve to move forward. I deserve peace. One of the greatest barriers to letting go is fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of losing control, fear of being vulnerable. But what's often overlooked is that holding on can be just as frightening. The longer you cling to something that's not meant for you, the more you stagnate. You miss out on the joy of new experiences, the thrill of taking risks, and the satisfaction of discovering your resilience. Letting go is scary, but it's also exhilarating. It's a leap of faith, and with every leap, you grow stronger. The power of letting go is that it opens you up to life's endless possibilities. When you let go of what's no longer serving you, you make room for what's meant to be. You might not know what that is right away, and that's okay. The act of letting go is often the first step in a journey of self-discovery. It's a way of saying to the universe, I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever comes next. And in that readiness, you'll find a strength and courage you never knew you had. Think about the people who inspire you the most. Chances are they've faced challenges, endured losses, and made difficult decisions to let go of what wasn't working. Their strength didn't come from holding on. It came from their willingness to release what they couldn't control and to move forward with purpose. You have that same strength within you. You have the power to let go and to create a life that's free from the burdens of the past. In the end, letting go is about choosing yourself. It's about prioritizing your well-being and your happiness over the need to hold on to something that's holding you back. It's about recognizing that you deserve more than just surviving. You deserve to thrive. The power of letting go isn't in what you lose, it's in what you gain. You gain freedom, clarity, and the ability to live a life that's authentic and fulfilling. So take a moment to reflect. What are you holding on to that's no longer serving you? What's weighing you down, keeping you from moving forward? And most importantly, what could your life look like if you let it go? The answers to these questions hold the key to your liberation. It's time to release the rope, drop the weight, and step boldly into the life you're meant to live. Life is a fleeting and unpredictable journey, and it's far too short to be spent carrying regrets. Yet many of us find ourselves weighed down by the what-ifs and if-onlys that haunt our thoughts. Regrets about missed opportunities, mistakes we've made, or things we can't change can act like invisible chains, keeping us tethered to the past and preventing us from fully experiencing the present. Life isn't about being perfect or avoiding every mistake. It's about learning, growing, and embracing each moment for what it is. Dwelling on regrets is like watching a movie on repeat, hoping the ending will change. But it never does. The only way to truly live your life is to free yourself from the burden of regret and focus on what you can do today to make the most of the time you have. Regrets often stem from our innate desire to control outcomes. We replay scenarios in our minds, imagining how things might have turned out differently if only we had made another choice. This mental loop can feel endless, as if we're searching for a resolution that will never come. But the reality is that the past is fixed. It can't be undone, rewritten, or relived. What can change, however, is how we choose to relate to it. We can view regret as a teacher rather than a jailer. Every decision, even the ones we wish we could take back, carries a lesson. When we shift our perspective, regret transforms from a source of pain into a stepping stone for growth. It's also important to recognize that many of the regrets we carry aren't truly about the events themselves, but about the emotions tied to them. Perhaps you regret saying something hurtful to someone you cared about, not because of the words themselves, but because of the guilt and shame you feel afterward. Or maybe you regret not taking a leap of faith, not because of the opportunity you missed, but because you now associate that choice with fear or self-doubt. These emotions can be incredibly powerful, and they often have a way of overshadowing the lessons that those moments were meant to teach us. By acknowledging and addressing the emotions tied to our regrets, we can begin to loosen their grip on our hearts and minds. One of the greatest tragedies of living in regret is that it robs us of the present moment. While we're busy replaying the past or lamenting missed opportunities, life continues to move forward without us. Time is a non-renewable resource, and every second spent dwelling on what could have been is a second lost to what could still be. Imagine how much richer your life could be if you redirected the energy you spend on regret toward building the future you desire. The truth is, we can't change the past, but we have complete control over how we approach the present. By focusing on the here and now, we can start creating memories that don't come with the heavy weight of what if. Another aspect of regret is its connection to our inner critic. When we look back on past decisions, we often judge ourselves harshly, as though we should have known better. But hindsight is always 20/20. The person you are today has the benefit of knowledge, experience, and growth that you didn't have when you made those decisions. You were doing the best you could with what you knew at the time. Forgiving yourself for those choices is a crucial step in releasing regret. It's an act of compassion that allows you to move forward without the baggage of self-blame. Remember, you are not defined by your mistakes. You are defined by how you rise from them. Regret can also be a powerful motivator if we choose to channel it constructively. Instead of allowing it to paralyze us, we can use it as a reminder of what we value most. For example, if you regret not spending enough time with a loved one who has passed away, that regret can inspire you to prioritize meaningful connections with the people who are still in your life. If you regret not pursuing a passion, let that feeling fuel your determination to start today. Regret, when reframed, can be a guide that points us toward the life we want to create. It's never too late to make changes, no matter how small, that align with your values and dreams. It's also worth noting that some level of regret is inevitable in life. No one goes through life without making mistakes or missing opportunities. It's part of being human. What matters is how we respond to those moments. Do we allow them to define us, or do we use them as a catalyst for growth? Regret can feel like a heavy weight, but it's a weight that we can choose to set down. The act of releasing regret isn't about erasing it entirely. It's about learning to live alongside it without letting it control us. Living a life free from the grip of regret also means embracing imperfection. Society often pressures us to strive for flawless lives, free from mistakes or failures. But perfection is an illusion, and the pursuit of it only leads to disappointment. True fulfillment comes from accepting ourselves as we are, flaws and all. When we let go of the unrealistic expectation of perfection, we give ourselves permission to make mistakes, learn from them, and move on. This mindset shift is incredibly liberating and allows us to approach life with curiosity and openness rather than fear of failure. One of the most powerful ways to overcome regret is through gratitude. When we focus on what we're grateful for, it becomes much harder to dwell on what we wish we could change. Gratitude shifts our perspective from what's missing to what's present. It reminds us of the beauty and abundance in our lives, even in the face of challenges. Practicing gratitude doesn't mean ignoring past regrets. It means choosing to see the good that exists alongside them. It's a reminder that even in our darkest moments, there's always something to be thankful for. Ultimately, life is too short to be spent carrying the weight of regret. Each day is an opportunity to start fresh, to make new choices, and to create a life that reflects who you are and what you value. The past is a chapter in your story, but it's not the whole book. You have the power to write the next chapter in any way you choose. By letting go of regret and focusing on the present, you free yourself to live fully, love deeply, and experience the richness of life. So, take a moment to reflect on the regrets that are holding you back. Ask yourself, what am I gaining by holding on to this regret? Is it helping me, or is it keeping me stuck? And most importantly, what would my life look like if I chose to let it go? These questions can be uncomfortable, but they're the first step toward freedom. Life is too short to be spent looking backward. The future is waiting for you, and it's filled with endless possibilities. Let go of regret and embrace the life you have today. It's the only one you'll ever get. The mental and emotional freedom that comes from letting go is one of the most transformative experiences a person can have. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with expectations, pressures, and responsibilities, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Often, the heaviest burdens we carry are not physical. They are the emotional baggage we pick up along the way. These burdens take many forms: unresolved anger, deep-seated guilt, unprocessed grief, or even the relentless pursuit of perfection. Over time, they can cloud our minds, weigh on our hearts, and limit our potential. But when we release these negative emotions, something remarkable happens. We free ourselves to live more fully, to think more clearly, and to embrace life with renewed energy and purpose. Emotional freedom begins with awareness. Many of us carry these burdens without even realizing it. They manifest in subtle ways. irritability, fatigue, or a lingering sense of dissatisfaction. We might attribute these feelings to external circumstances like a stressful job or a challenging relationship, but often the root cause lies within. We hold on to past experiences and the emotions tied to them because we believe, consciously or unconsciously, that letting them go would mean losing a part of ourselves. We think, if I let go of this anger, who am I without it? Or, if I forgive myself for that mistake, does it mean I'm excusing it? But the truth is, holding on to these emotions doesn't serve us. It only traps us in a cycle of pain and self-doubt. Letting go is not about ignoring or suppressing emotions. It's about acknowledging them, understanding their source, and consciously choosing to release their hold on us. This process requires honesty and courage. It's not always easy to confront the feelings we've buried or the stories we've told ourselves to justify holding on to them. But once we begin to peel back those layers, we discover that our emotions, no matter how overwhelming, are not permanent. They are not fixed parts of who we are. They are temporary states that we have the power to change. One of the most liberating aspects of letting go is the mental clarity it brings. When we're consumed by negative emotions, our thoughts can become muddled and repetitive. We replay old conversations, imagine worst-case scenarios, or dwell on what could have been. This mental clutter leaves little room for creativity, problem solving, or meaningful reflection. By releasing the emotions that no longer serve us, we create space in our minds for new ideas, perspectives, and possibilities. It's like cleaning out a cluttered room. Once you remove the unnecessary items, you can see the space's potential and begin to use it in a way that truly serves you. Emotional freedom also allows us to break free from patterns that keep us stuck. Many of the habits and behaviors that hold us back are rooted in unresolved emotions. For example, someone who struggles with procrastination might find that their avoidance stems from a fear of failure tied to past experiences. By addressing and releasing that fear, they can begin to approach tasks with confidence and ease. Similarly, someone who has difficulty forming close relationships might discover that their reluctance to open up is rooted in a past betrayal. Letting go of the pain from that experience can pave the way for deeper, more meaningful connections. The process of letting go is also deeply empowering. It reminds us that we are not powerless in the face of our emotions. While we cannot always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. This realization shifts us from a victim mindset to one of agency and resilience. It allows us to take ownership of our lives and recognize that our happiness and peace are not dependent on external circumstances, but on our internal choices. Forgiveness is a key component of emotional freedom, and it often begins with forgiving ourselves. Many of us are our own harshest critics, holding ourselves to impossible standards and berating ourselves for every perceived shortcoming. This self-criticism can be exhausting and paralyzing, keeping us locked in a cycle of guilt and shame. But when we choose to forgive ourselves, we release the weight of those expectations and create room for self-compassion. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing mistakes or ignoring their impact. It means acknowledging them, learning from them, and giving ourselves permission to move forward. Forgiving others is equally important. Holding on to resentment or anger towards someone else may feel justified, but it ultimately harms us more than it harms them. These emotions take up valuable mental and emotional space, leaving us drained and disconnected. Letting go of resentment doesn't mean condoning someone else's actions or allowing them back into our lives. It means freeing ourselves from the grip of their impact. It's an act of self-care that allows us to reclaim our energy and focus it on what truly matters. The benefits of emotional freedom extend beyond the mind and heart. They also impact our physical well-being. Studies have shown that chronic stress and negative emotions can contribute to a range of health issues, from high blood pressure to weakened immunity. By letting go of these emotions, we reduce stress and create a sense of balance in our lives. This balance supports not only our mental health, but also our physical vitality, enabling us to show up in the world as our best selves. Achieving emotional freedom doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey that requires patience, self-awareness, and practice. One effective tool for this journey is mindfulness. By cultivating a present, focused mindset, we can observe our emotions without becoming overwhelmed by them. Mindfulness teaches us to accept our feelings as they are, without judgment or resistance. This acceptance creates the space we need to let go and move forward. Another powerful tool is gratitude. When we focus on what we're thankful for, we shift our attention away from what we lack or what has hurt us. Gratitude reminds us of the abundance in our lives and helps us reframe our experiences in a positive light. It doesn't erase the challenges we've faced, but it gives us the strength to rise above them. Perhaps the most profound aspect of emotional freedom is the sense of peace it brings. When we let go of the emotions that no longer serve us, we create a sense of inner calm that radiates outward. This peace allows us to approach life with greater clarity, compassion, and confidence. It enables us to be fully present in our relationships, pursue our goals with purpose, and navigate challenges with resilience. Emotional freedom is not about avoiding difficult emotions or striving for constant happiness. It's about learning to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and strength. It's about recognizing that we have the power to choose how we respond to our experiences and that our emotions do not define us. By letting go of what holds us back, we open ourselves to a life of greater possibility, connection, and fulfillment. In the end, emotional freedom is a gift we give to ourselves. It's an act of self-love that allows us to break free from the chains of the past and step boldly into the future. The journey may not be easy, but the rewards are immeasurable. When we let go, we create space for joy, peace, and growth. And in doing so, we discover the true depth of our own strength and resilience. Living in the moment is a simple concept, yet it's one of the most profound and transformative practices you can adopt. Too often, our minds are either stuck in the past, replaying old memories and reliving regrets, or racing toward the future, worrying about what's to come or chasing some distant goal. In doing so, we miss the only thing that truly exists, the present moment. Life unfolds in the here and now, but when we fail to be fully present, we rob ourselves of its richness and beauty. Learning to embrace the moment is not just a philosophy, it's a way of life that allows us to experience greater joy, peace, and connection. One of the biggest obstacles to living in the moment is our tendency to multitask and divide our attention. In today's fast-paced world, we're constantly juggling multiple responsibilities and distractions. Whether it's checking our phones while having a conversation, worrying about tomorrow's deadlines during dinner, or mentally rehearsing future scenarios, our attention is often scattered. This habit not only diminishes our productivity, but also prevents us from fully engaging with what's in front of us. When we're not present, we miss out on the subtleties and details that make each moment unique and meaningful. Living in the moment requires us to slow down and focus on the present. It's about consciously choosing to give our full attention to whatever we're doing, whether it's a mundane task or a once-in-a-lifetime experience. When we bring our awareness to the here and now, even the simplest activities can become deeply fulfilling. For example, instead of rushing through a meal while watching TV or scrolling through social media, take the time to savor each bite. Notice the flavors, textures, and aromas. Appreciate the effort that went into preparing the food and the nourishment it provides. This kind of mindfulness transforms an everyday activity into an opportunity for gratitude and joy. Another barrier to living in the moment is our tendency to dwell on the past or worry about the future. While reflection and planning are valuable, they can easily spiral into rumination and anxiety if we're not careful. Dwelling on the past often involves replaying painful memories, second-guessing decisions, or wishing things had turned out differently. This fixation on what cannot be changed creates a cycle of regret that keeps us stuck. Similarly, worrying about the future often involves imagining worst-case scenarios or placing our happiness on hold until we achieve certain milestones. This constant preoccupation with what's ahead robs us of the ability to enjoy the present. The key to breaking free from these patterns is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being fully aware of the present moment without judgment. It's about observing your thoughts, feelings, and sensations as they arise rather than getting caught up in them. For instance, if you notice yourself worrying about the future, acknowledge the worry without letting it consume you. Remind yourself that the future hasn't happened yet and that your energy is better spent on what you can do right now. Mindfulness helps you create a sense of detachment from your thoughts, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. Living in the moment also means embracing life as it is, rather than as we think it should be. This requires us to let go of perfectionism and the constant striving for control. Life is unpredictable, and not everything will go according to plan. When we resist this reality, we create unnecessary stress and frustration. By accepting the present moment for what it is, flaws and all, we free ourselves from the need to constantly fix, improve, or change it. This doesn't mean complacency. It means finding peace in the midst of imperfection and recognizing that life's beauty often lies in its unpredictability. One of the greatest gifts of living in the moment is the deeper connection it fosters with ourselves and others. When we're fully present, we're able to listen more attentively, respond more thoughtfully, and appreciate the people around us in a meaningful way. Think about a time when you had a heartfelt conversation with someone who truly listened to you. Their undivided attention made you feel seen, heard, and valued. Now imagine offering that same presence to others and to yourself. When you give your full attention to your own thoughts and feelings, you develop a greater sense of self-awareness and self-compassion. Living in the moment also enhances our ability to experience joy. Many of life's most beautiful moments are fleeting. A sunset, a child's laughter, a kind gesture from a stranger. If we're too distracted or preoccupied to notice these moments, we miss out on the simple joys that make life worthwhile. By cultivating presence, we become more attuned to the beauty around us, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. This heightened awareness allows us to savor the good times and find silver linings, even in challenging situations. Another aspect of living in the moment is letting go of the need for constant validation and comparison. Social media and societal pressures often encourage us to measure our worth based on external achievements or the approval of others. This external focus pulls us out of the present and into a cycle of chasing things that don't truly fulfill us. When we live in the moment, we shift our focus inward, prioritizing what feels authentic and meaningful to us. We learn to appreciate ourselves and our lives without constantly seeking external affirmation. Living in the moment is not about ignoring responsibilities or neglecting the future. It's about finding a balance between planning for tomorrow and appreciating today. When we live in the moment, we approach life with a sense of curiosity and openness. We're able to respond to challenges with greater clarity and creativity because we're not weighed down by past regrets or future anxieties. This mindset allows us to be more adaptable and resilient, which ultimately helps us navigate life's ups and downs with greater ease. Practicing gratitude is another powerful way to anchor ourselves in the present. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. It reminds us of the abundance in our lives, even in the face of challenges. By taking a moment each day to reflect on what you're grateful for, you train your mind to notice and appreciate the positive aspects of your life. Gratitude doesn't just make you happier. It also helps you become more present. When you're focused on what you're thankful for in the here and now, it's harder to get caught up in the past or future. Living in the moment is a lifelong practice, and it's okay to stumble along the way. There will be times when your mind drifts to the past or races ahead to the future. The goal is not to eliminate these tendencies entirely, but to recognize when they happen and gently guide your attention back to the present. With practice, this becomes easier, and you'll find yourself spending more time fully engaged with life as it unfolds. In the end, living in the moment is about making the most of the time you have. Life is made up of countless small moments, and each one is an opportunity to find meaning, connection, and joy. By embracing the present, you create a life that is richer, more fulfilling, and more aligned with your true self. The past is gone, the future is uncertain, but the present is a gift. One that's waiting for you to unwrap it. Letting go of things we cannot control is one of the most liberating and empowering acts we can undertake. As humans, we have an innate desire to shape our lives, to influence outcomes, and to ensure that everything works out as we envision. While this drive can motivate us to take action and pursue our goals, it can also lead to frustration, anxiety, and burnout when we encounter situations that are beyond our control. Life is unpredictable, and no amount of planning or effort can guarantee that things will always go according to plan. By learning to release the need for control, we free ourselves from the constant struggle to force outcomes and instead create space for acceptance, peace, and clarity. The first step in letting go of control is recognizing the distinction between what we can influence and what we cannot. Many aspects of life fall into the latter category: other people's actions, the outcome of events, the passage of time, and even the weather. Despite this, we often expend enormous amounts of energy trying to change these uncontrollable factors. We try to convince others to see things our way, obsess over outcomes we can't predict, or dwell on past events we wish we could rewrite. This futile effort not only drains our energy, but also leaves us feeling powerless and defeated when things don't turn out as we hoped. One of the reasons we struggle with letting go of control is fear. We fear uncertainty and the unknown because they make us feel vulnerable. Control, even the illusion of it, gives us a sense of security. We tell ourselves that if we can just manage every detail, everything will be okay. But this mindset often backfires, as it sets us up for disappointment when reality doesn't align with our expectations. The truth is, uncertainty is an inherent part of life. While we can't predict or control every outcome, we can choose how we respond to the unknown. By embracing uncertainty instead of resisting it, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and experiences. Letting go of control also involves releasing the need for perfection. Many of us hold ourselves to impossibly high standards, believing that if we can just get everything right, we'll avoid failure or disappointment. But perfection is an illusion. It's unattainable and unsustainable. When we strive for it, we create unnecessary stress and miss out on the beauty of imperfection. Life is messy and unpredictable, and that's what makes it so rich. By accepting that not everything will go as planned and that we don't need to have all the answers, we allow ourselves to relax and enjoy the journey. Another challenge in letting go of control is the attachment to specific outcomes. We often have a clear vision of how we want things to unfold, and we become fixated on achieving that result. While having goals and aspirations is important, it's equally important to remain flexible and open to different paths. Sometimes the outcome we envision isn't the best one for us, even if it feels that way in the moment. Life has a way of guiding us toward what we need, even if it's not what we initially wanted. By releasing our grip on specific outcomes, we make room for unexpected opportunities and growth. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It means focusing on what we can influence and accepting what we cannot. This shift in perspective allows us to redirect our energy toward things that truly matter, such as our actions, attitudes, and choices. For example, while we can't control how others behave, we can control how we respond to them. Instead of trying to change someone else's actions or opinions, we can set boundaries, communicate our needs, and prioritize our well-being. This approach not only reduces stress, but also empowers us to take ownership of our lives. One of the most profound benefits of letting go of control is the sense of freedom it brings. When we release the need to micromanage every aspect of our lives, we free ourselves from the weight of constant worry and overthinking. This mental and emotional liberation allows us to be more present and engaged in the moment. We stop obsessing over what might happen tomorrow and start appreciating what's happening right now. This shift in focus brings a sense of peace and contentment that's difficult to achieve when we're caught up in the need to control. Letting go also strengthens our resilience. When we accept that we can't control everything, we become better equipped to handle life's challenges. Instead of resisting or fighting against difficult circumstances, we learn to adapt and flow with them. This adaptability is a powerful skill that enables us to navigate uncertainty with grace and confidence. It helps us bounce back from setbacks and find solutions to problems we might not have considered if we were fixated on controlling the outcome. Another key aspect of letting go is trust. Trusting ourselves, trusting others, and trusting the process of life. This trust doesn't mean blind faith or naivety. It means recognizing that we have the strength and resources to face whatever comes our way. It means believing that even when things don't go as planned, there's a purpose or lesson in the experience. Trusting others can also be challenging, especially if we've been let down in the past, but it's an essential part of building healthy relationships. When we let go of the need to control others, we create space for mutual respect, understanding, and collaboration. Practicing mindfulness is a powerful tool for letting go of control. Mindfulness teaches us to focus on the present moment rather than getting lost in worries about the future or regrets about the past. It helps us observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment, allowing us to identify when we're trying to control things that are beyond our influence. By cultivating mindfulness, we develop the ability to respond to situations with clarity and intention, rather than reacting out of fear or frustration. Gratitude is another practice that supports the process of letting go. When we focus on what we're thankful for, we shift our attention away from what we lack or what we wish we could change. Gratitude reminds us of the abundance in our lives and helps us see the bigger picture. It encourages us to appreciate the present moment and trust that everything is unfolding as it should. Ultimately, Letting go of control is an act of self-compassion. It's about recognizing that we don't have to have all the answers or carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. It's about giving ourselves permission to rest, to breathe, and to trust that we are enough just as we are. By releasing the need for control, we create space for growth, healing, and transformation. We learn to navigate life with greater ease and joy, knowing that we are capable of handling whatever comes our way. Letting go is not a one-time event. It's a practice that requires patience and self-awareness. There will be times when we find ourselves clinging to control or resisting change, and that's okay. The important thing is to notice when this happens and gently guide ourselves back to a place of acceptance. With time and practice, letting go becomes more natural, and we begin to experience the freedom and peace that come with it. In letting go of control, we discover a profound truth that life is not something to be controlled, but something to be experienced. It's a journey filled with twists and turns, surprises and challenges, beauty and imperfection. By releasing our grip and embracing the unknown, we open ourselves to the full spectrum of what life has to offer. We learn to trust ourselves and the process, knowing that we are exactly where we need to be. And in doing so, we find the courage to let go and live our lives to the fullest. Happiness is often perceived as a destination, something we must chase after and achieve through accomplishments, possessions, or external circumstances. But the truth is that happiness is not something we find, it's something we create. It exists not in the far-off future, but in our everyday lives, waiting to be noticed and embraced. The problem is that we frequently overlook the small joys around us because we're too focused on the bigger picture or what's missing in our lives. To truly experience happiness, we must shift our mindset and learn to value the small, seemingly ordinary moments that make life beautiful. In our pursuit of happiness, we often tie it to milestones or achievements. We tell ourselves, I'll be happy when I get that promotion. I'll be happy when I find the perfect partner. Or I'll be happy when I have more money. These thoughts create the illusion that happiness is conditional, something we can only have when we check off certain boxes. While goals and aspirations are important, they can trap us in a cycle of postponing happiness. When we achieve one goal, the satisfaction is often fleeting, and we quickly move on to the next target, leaving us in a constant state of chasing something just out of reach. Happiness is not about waiting for the perfect moment or achieving a flawless life. It's about finding joy in the imperfections and appreciating what you have right now. When we focus too much on what we lack or what we think we need to be happy, we overlook the blessings already present in our lives. A sunny day, a warm cup of coffee, a smile from a stranger, or a moment of laughter with a loved one. These are the little things that can bring immense joy if we take the time to notice them. By shifting our perspective to value these moments, we open ourselves up to a deeper and more consistent sense of happiness. One of the most effective ways to cultivate happiness is through gratitude. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we don't have to what we do have. It helps us see the abundance in our lives, no matter how small it may seem. Taking a moment each day to reflect on what you're thankful for can have a profound impact on your happiness. It could be as simple as appreciating the comfort of your bed, the support of a friend, or the beauty of a sunset. Gratitude reminds us that happiness doesn't come from having everything we want, but from wanting and valuing what we already have. Another important aspect of embracing happiness is being present in the moment. Often our minds are preoccupied with the past or the future, robbing us of the ability to fully experience the present. We dwell on past mistakes or worry about future uncertainties, and in doing so, we miss the joy that's right in front of us. Being present means paying attention to what's happening right now and savoring it without judgment. Whether you're enjoying a meal, spending time with a loved one, or simply sitting in silence, immersing yourself in the moment can bring a profound sense of peace and happiness. Letting go of comparisons is another crucial step toward finding happiness. In the age of social media, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing your life to others. You might see someone's vacation photos, career achievements, or seemingly perfect relationships and feel like you're falling short. But the truth is, what we see online is often a highlight reel, not the full picture. Everyone has struggles and challenges that aren't visible on the surface. Comparing yourself to others only steals your joy and makes it harder to appreciate your own journey. Instead of measuring your happiness against others, focus on what brings you fulfillment and meaning. Happiness also comes from cultivating meaningful connections with others. Human beings are social creatures, and our relationships play a significant role in our overall well-being. Whether it's spending time with family, catching up with friends, or even sharing a kind word with a stranger, connecting with others can bring a sense of belonging and joy. Acts of kindness, both giving and receiving, are particularly powerful in fostering happiness. When you brighten someone else's day, you often find that your own happiness grows in the process. It's also important to understand that happiness isn't about feeling good all the time. Life is full of ups and downs, and expecting to be happy 24/7 is unrealistic. In fact, trying to force happiness can sometimes have the opposite effect, making us feel guilty or frustrated when we're not feeling our best. True happiness comes from embracing the full range of human emotions and recognizing that even difficult times have value. Pain, loss, and challenges can teach us important lessons and make us more resilient. By accepting life's imperfections, we create space for authentic happiness to emerge. Self-care is another vital component of happiness. Taking care of your physical, mental, and emotional well-being is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Exercise, a balanced diet, sufficient sleep, and time for relaxation all contribute to your overall happiness. Self-care also means setting boundaries, saying no when necessary, and prioritizing your needs without guilt. When you take care of yourself, you're better equipped to handle life's challenges and find joy in the everyday. Pursuing activities that bring you joy and fulfillment is another way to cultivate happiness. This could be a hobby, a creative project, or simply spending time doing something you love. These activities don't have to be grand or ambitious. What matters is that they bring you a sense of satisfaction and allow you to express yourself. Engaging in activities that align with your passions and values helps you feel more connected to yourself and your purpose. Happiness also involves having a sense of purpose and meaning in your life. While fleeting pleasures can bring temporary joy, a deeper and more lasting happiness comes from knowing that your life has significance. This doesn't mean you need to have everything figured out or achieve monumental success. Purpose can be found in small, everyday acts, helping others, pursuing a passion, or simply being present for the people you care about. When you live in alignment with your values and contribute to something larger than yourself, you experience a sense of fulfillment that goes beyond momentary happiness. Learning to let go of negativity is another key to embracing happiness. This includes letting go of grudges, resentment, and self-criticism. Holding on to negative emotions only weighs you down and prevents you from fully enjoying life. Forgiveness, both of others and yourself, is a powerful way to release this burden. It doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior, but it does mean freeing yourself from the grip of anger and pain. By letting go of negativity, you create space for positivity and joy to enter your life. Finally, happiness is about being kind to yourself. Too often, we're our own harshest critics, setting unrealistic expectations and berating ourselves for falling short. But self-compassion is essential for happiness. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. Celebrate your achievements, no matter how small, and give yourself grace when you make mistakes. Remember that you're a work in progress, and that's okay. Happiness is not something that happens to you. It's something you actively create. It's about shifting your focus, appreciating the present, and finding joy in the little things. It's about letting go of what you can't control and embracing what you can. By cultivating gratitude, being present, and nurturing your relationships, you can experience a deeper and more lasting sense of happiness. It's not about chasing an ideal or waiting for a perfect moment. It's about finding beauty and joy in the life you have right now. Happiness is within your reach. It's already there, waiting for you to notice and embrace it.